And let's start our Friday Pilates mat standing up. So I'm trying something new today. I am not putting a mat down on this floor because it's carpeted floor. So in Pilates, I can do that. So let's just shake our hands. Don't need a sticky mat. So let your hands shake and really feel into the fingers. You're wanting to let them go at the joints. And then let's shake the arms out to the side and up overhead and let the knees bounce a little bit. Feel into the four corners of your feet, your three arches. Feel how those arches soften the bounce. We just really want to know this in our bodies so that when we're moving through our daily lives, we remember, oh yeah, I want to utilize my arches. And then come back out and just let the arms go. Okay, so now relax the arms and let's let them just gently swing around the body. So again, when we think of shoulders and neck, right now we're tractioning the arm bones. So don't swing too hard or have it be too aggressive. Let it be a swing where your arms are diagonally down towards the ground and there's a little gravitational pull in the tissue around the arm bones. This will help you release the humerus bone away from the clavicle. And then just feel into the twist of your spine. Does your spine feel healthy? Does it feel tight in certain places? And just make note. And then come back to center and inhale the arms up again. Imagine you're holding a platter on your hands and press the platter skyward as you root your feet. Lift through your head and root your tailbone. And really try to spread the vertebrae apart. And then release. And let's roll one shoulder up, down, and back, and the other shoulder. So Tina and Anne, Sharon requested a little neck and shoulder work today. So we're going to be concentrating a little bit in that area as we also decompress the spine during our work. So we will move across body, maybe the elbows stretch now, or the arm opens into a backstroke. We invite some fluid movement into the shoulders. And then let's release the arms down and bring the left arm across towards the right. Hold it with the right hand and gently pull the left arm to the right. And then resist back with the left shoulder. Draw the arm bone in towards your chest and breathe into the stretch. The whole time, ground into the feet and lengthen through the spine. And then release that arm and bring the right arm across. Draw the right arm to the left and then resist back with the right shoulder blade. Release the arm a little towards the floor. Draw the arm in towards the chest and breathe into the stretch. So if you've been doing any kind of weightlifting, you may be feeling it in the cap of your shoulder, which is the deltoid. So we breathe into keeping this tissue supple as it gets stronger. Fluid breath. And then release that arm and roll both shoulders. Now, let's come hands to your hip creases, bend your knees, and come forward kind of towards an Utkatasana. Have one arm stay on a leg and let the other arm go, and let it draw a circle towards the floor. Again, this is a way to release the humerus bone away from the shoulder girdle. Really try to let the hand relax and switch the direction of your circle. Now try to let go controlling the circle. Try to let your arm just kind of pendulum on its own. You're releasing the tissue around the shoulder blade as well. Okay, let's switch arms. Let the other arm dangle and circle. Really try to let go control of that circle and just let the arm hang. You may feel it as a stretch behind the shoulder blade. and take the circle the other way, and then let it go. And then bend both knees, come into your Utkatasana position, and just let your arms swing. Again, really letting them go. Okay, inhale, reach up. Interlace your fingers, place your thumbs at the base of the skull, and as you root your tailbone, lift the base of the skull. Wrap your elbows forward around the head, lift the elbows, rooting into the four corners of your feet. Release the shoulders. Breathe energy up along the spine, space between the vertebrae, and release your arms long into your standing back bend. Very important to root the tail, to lift the low back ribs, to stretch open, and then exhale, neutral spine, release the arms, and come to your wall. Walk your hands up the wall, at least shoulder distance wide, and exhale, lower your heels down towards the floor. Really try to create space between the vertebrae. Take your time lowering the heels. Try to create space. Good. And then walk back into your half dog. Remember, you don't have to be parallel to the floor. Lift neck and head a little above shoulders and arms so that it's comfortable and long. And inhale a cow. And exhale a cat. And let the spine begin to move a little bit. Exhale and inhale. Fluid breath. And then walk back up into the wall. Fingers as high as your shoulders, come into a standing cobra. Isometrically draw the arms down the side bodies, the hands down the wall, and root the tailbone. Hug in the banks of your river and lift the heart. Open into a standing back bend again. Now imagine that TheraBand or yoga strap at the base of your skull. Really lengthen the back of the neck. Shoulder blades hug onto the back body. No hyperextension of the knees. And exhale back to neutral. Reach your hands up the wall again. Come onto the balls of your feet and then slowly lower the heels. Invite space even in the shoulders, like underneath the shoulder blade, between the shoulder and the ribs. Invite space between the ribs and each vertebrae. And this time, bring your elbows to the wall. Bring your palms together, elbows as wide as your shoulders. Walk back any distance towards your half dolphin pose. Remember, head can be a little higher than your elbows and shoulders. And reach your pelvis back. And again, come into a gentle cow and a gentle cat. Now we restrict the shoulder a little bit, and as we move, we may feel a little more stretch in the spine. Move, make the motion as small or as large as feels right in your body. And then release away from the wall and roll your shoulders. Okay, bring your back to the wall now, and your palms facing each other across your torso. Broad across the shoulder girdle, let the head of the arm bones rest back. Palate lines up over heart, over pelvis, and we root the humerus bones back just maybe at 40% of effort. Broad across the shoulder girdle, long in the neck. Take a few fluid breaths and breathe the whole circumference of your torso open. Three-dimensional breath is fundamental to strengthening your core. So feel for the breath in the back body, in the side waist, in the front body. Try to really open the whole circumference of your abdomen, of your lowest ribs, and of your chest. Now, stand onto the four corners of one foot, lift to one toe, and lift the knee. Stay broad across the shoulder girdle. Keep breathing into the whole circumference of your torso. You may lift the leg out straight. Stay strong in the opening shoulders and release. Float to the other foot, lift to the other toe, ground across the shoulder girdle, and then lift the knee. Fluid three-dimensional breath. Four corners of the standing foot grounding. Lift the arches, lift the pelvic floor, and maybe lift the leg long. And release. Step away from the wall and roll your shoulders. And let's actually open our feet slightly, bend our knees, and lift the arms up into cactus pose. And let's exhale, pinkies together, cat curl the spine. Inhale, open the heart, lift the heart. Exhale and inhale. So we work on opening the shoulders, but that means we also need to open the upper rib cage. That means we need to lengthen and open the thoracic spine. Okay, so now we've done some good opening. Let's open the palms, press them out, reach the elbows out, and stretch open across the front chest. Really root your tailbone. Invite the breath into the whole circumference of the whole torso. So release the tailbone. Breathe into the low back ribs. And then exhale, cat curl. And as you bring the pinkies and forearms together, really breathe the back ribs away from the spine. Breathe the back ribs apart from each other. And then open back up and release your arms. So you can stay with all that work without hand weights, or you can lift up your hand weights. And actually, let's go ahead, if you have a circle TheraBand and want to use it, put on your circle TheraBand right above your knees about 2 inches. Okay, you don't have to do this. It's all choice. And then bring your arms up into humerus bones parallel with the floor and inhale, open into your cactus. Press out into the TheraBand and feel the arches of your feet lift. And press up and open out and close and inhale, open and press. Elbows down and close. Inhale, open and press. Elbows down and close. Inhale, press, exhale, close. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, stretch, exhale, close, inhale, stretch, exhale, close, inhale, one more stretch, exhale, close, and open, and close. Keep the legs open, press out into the TheraBand. Now open and turn your palms in towards your ears. Open the arms so the palms face up and bicep curl. Now, can you keep releasing along the sides of the neck? Imagine lifting the arms from along the lower shoulder blade. So you're lifting up towards your armpit from the back body. And one more here. And then bring the arms together and open and press and down and close and inhale and stretch and exhale and close. Open the arms and close legs and arms. It's a lot of work in your hips to hold that TheraBand open. Let's cross the floor again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Open and close. Open and close. So now we are doing a little of the hand weight work. And if you're feeling it in your shoulders, ask yourself, how can I relax the upper trap a little bit? Maybe it's by bringing your head back slightly. Maybe it's by bringing your shoulders back slightly. Can you really settle palate over heart over pelvis? And then come back to center and release your arms and roll your shoulders and relax. Let the hand weights pull the arm bones down and stretch the neck. Fluid breath. Now, roll the shoulders slightly forward and feel how the head comes forward. Place your tongue on that palate where the hard and soft palates meet at the roof of your mouth. Draw that back over your heart. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. Shoulder blades strong on your back body. Bring your hands beside your hips and bend your knees, hinge forward, and open back. So important to shoulder health and alignment. We're broad across the shoulder girdle. The shoulder blades sit on the back ribs, and we open the arms and strengthen the triceps. But really, the head of the arm bone does not move once we get it back in a good, healthy place in the shoulder girdle, and the shoulder blades are strong on the back body. And let's open and hold now. Root into the four corners of your feet. Balance the three arches, and from the pelvis, lengthen through the spine. Broad across the shoulder girdle. Fluid breath, building strength in the back body, and release the arms and come to standing and roll. Take one foot back. Bring your arms forward like you're holding a block between your hands. Press the back leg back. If you have the TheraBand on, really press the hamstring into the TheraBand and begin to fold forward towards the floor. Head and neck aligned, palate aligned with heart with pelvis. Let your arms dangle towards the floor and then float them open like wings of a bird. And your toe can be on the floor if you need it for balance, but if you can hinge a little farther forward, that's good. And we lower the arms and we lift the wings and lower and lift and lower and lift and release. Step the next foot back. So we're not really coming into a back bend. We're pressing the leg back and hinging forward. Arms dangle towards the floor. The toe can stay on the floor, or you could even be back by a wall if balance is challenging, and you could lift the foot to hold the wall so you can hinge a little farther forward. And we open the wings and close the wings and open and close. Long spine, pelvis to heart to palate. We open and close, open and close, and open and close, and stand tall. Okay, so come to your wall. I gave my Gertie ball away here. I need to bring a new one. So I'm going to use a block. Bring a block or your Gertie ball in front of your chest at the wall, and your arms dangling beside you. Now it's important that you lift the heart here. You come into your Tadasana, femur bones over tibia bones, broad across your shoulder girdle. We're just going to take the hands in the hand weight slightly back behind the body, and then bring them back by the hips. Take them back. Root your tailbone and bring them in. Make sure that as you bring the arms back, you don't hyperextend the knees. We inhale back. We exhale, release. Now, don't hitch the shoulders up towards your ears, but feel how the muscles of your back body are working. We're getting into the rhomboids, which are muscles that strengthen between the shoulder blades and help us to draw the shoulder blades onto the back body. We lift and lower, root your tailbone, and lower one more time. Inhale and exhale. So you can stay with those. You can let go of the hand weights if it's too much. Bring your arms up parallel to the floor, hands facing the wall. And again, we're going to draw the head of the arm bone back as we draw the wrist slightly back. And then exhale the hand slightly towards the wall. So you're not dropping the head of the arm bone towards the wall. It's coming back along with the wrist. We aren't pressing the head of the arm bone into the front of the rotator cuff. We're drawing it back. Feel your shoulder blades working on the back body. We draw and release. We inhale and exhale. We inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. Release your arms to your sides and roll your shoulders. So the next one, again, you can do it with or without hand weights, is to lift your arms straight up towards the sky. Palate over heart over pelvis. Knees aligned. We inhale, take the hands slightly back. Exhale, bring them forward. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep the hands at least shoulder distance wide. One more. Inhale and exhale and release from the wall. Okay, so those are rhomboid strengtheners, and they help us move from this forward head posture to strong muscles on the back again. Let's come to the floor now. Please bring in your block, your ball, your oeuvre, or your foam roller. I think I'm going to use my foam roller today. No pillow as we bring something under the pelvis. So ball, block, oeuvre, foam roller. And we lay down. If you've got the foam roller, you can put your hands on each side and make sure it's right under your pelvis. And then still float one leg up and then the other, even though you have the TheraBand on. Come up into your tabletop. Open your legs so the shins are parallel, heels aligned with sit bones, and toe dip, one foot towards the floor. Exhale it up. Inhale, other foot. Exhale up. Now, as you do this work with the lower abdominal core, stay broad across your shoulder girdle and relax back at the head of the arm bone. Reach your front ribs towards your hip pointers. Bring your feet together, heels together, knees as wide as shoulders, and toe dip. Come back up and toe dip and come up. So now we're strengthening our abdominal core and our hips if we're using the TheraBand. Fluid breath. TheraBand isn't necessary if it feels like too much of a strain in any of your bodies. Keep your neutral curve to your lumbar or to your cervical spine of your neck. Come back up and close the legs. Now make the intention of keeping your right leg really still and open the left leg out and close it back in. Open it out and close it back in. Bring your hands up to face each other across the torso. Press the humerus bones gently back. Open the left leg and pause. Feel the left arm work. Connect the left shoulder to the right buttock and close and open. Feel that line from left shoulder to right buttock and close. And one more time. And close. Now open the right leg and close. And inhale and exhale. It's not how wide you can go with the right leg, it's how still the left leg can stay. Now open the right leg and pause. Really activate right shoulder to left hip. Feel the line. Keep it strong as you close and open and close and open. Keep strong from right shoulder to right buttock to left buttock to right shoulder. It's a triangle. Strengthen across the hypotenuse from the shoulder blade to the buttock. And come back to center and open both legs wide and close and open and close and open and close. And lift your legs long, turn out into your Pilates V. You're broad across the shoulders. You're active back into the floor. Open and lightly tap your heels and open and tap, open, tap, open, tap, and open, tap, open, tap, open, tap, open, tap, and open, tap. Now open. Pulse, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and open. Pulse, 3, 4, tap. 2, 3, 4, pulse, 2, tap, 2, pulse, tap, pulse, tap, pulse, tap, pulse, tap. Right leg overhead, left leg long down the mat. Pulse, 2, and tap. Pulse the other way and tap. Pulse, 2, and tap. Pulse, 2, and tap. Pulse, 2, 3, 4, tap. 2, 3, 4, other leg. 2, 3, 4, and tap. 2, 3, 4, pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and tap. 2, 3, 4, other leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bring your heels together and bring your TheraBand, if you're using it, up to your ankles. Press the feet out into the TheraBand. Flex your ankles. Bring the right foot in front of the left and switch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 1, 2, 3. Point your feet. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and pulse out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And take the TheraBand off your feet and release it off the mat, off the ankle, and float one foot to the floor and then the other. And rest for a moment in your supported bridge. Come back to your three-dimensional breath. So nod your head no here. And then nod your head yes. Bring your hands to your shoulders and massage the upper shoulder. This is your upper trapezius muscle. Massage up into the neck. Massage, reminding these muscles they can let go. Now bring your arms straight up towards the sky and open your left arm out to the left and bring it back to center. Right arm out to the right, to the center. Now as you bring the left arm out, bring the right knee up. Come back to center. As you bring the right arm out, bring the left knee up. Come back and open and close, lift and step down. Cross-body awareness work. One more. And release your buttocks off your prop. Either bring two blocks, a bolster or your foam roller under your feet, and ground broad across your shoulder girdle into your humerus bones and lift your pelvis into a bridge. And exhale, roll down through the thoracic spine of the rib cage just to your lowest back ribs. And then I want you to roll back up again. So part of what we're trying to do with shoulder and neck is to release the thoracic spine. That's the spine of your rib cage. So just roll down through the ribs. Don't go all the way through the lumbar and roll back up. Warming up this tissue in the thoracic spine. And then go ahead and roll all the way down. Tailbone towards earth, accentuate your lumbar curve, and then roll all the way back up. One more time. All the way down and all the way back up. Pause at the top and take a few breaths. Expand the whole circumference of the torso. And then exhale, lower the pelvis to the floor. Let the props move out from under your feet and pull the knees gently towards your spine. Keep the right leg in and lengthen your left leg out. Nod nose towards mouth and almost lift from your hairline. One of the most important things we can do for the neck is to strengthen the front neck flexors. So activate the front neck flexors by almost lifting your head from your hairline and switch and switch and switch. Even if you usually float the head up, stay here right now and feel for those front neck flexors strengthening. This will help balance the strength in the neck. Now, if you'd like to, float the head up. Remember, contraindicated for osteoporosis or a neck injury. Flex the feet, press out with the heel. Feel your front neck flexors still working. Nod nose towards mouth. And hug both knees in. Hands and feet reach towards the sky. Take wrists away from ankles. Open your feet into your Pilates V and zip up the inner legs. Hug in the banks of your river. Lengthen spine. Keep your lumbar curve. Exhale. Hug the knees in. Inhale. We stretch out. Exhale. We hug in. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Hug one more. We reach and we hug. And then float your hands behind your head and exhale. Lift the right elbow. lengthen the right leg, and rest your head back. Now do what you need to lengthen the spine. Try to keep a long spine as you switch. Do what you need to kind of find that length in your spine and switch. Elbow straight up towards the sky. Toe out like it's going to press a button. We get into strengthening the obliques. What's important for the head and neck here is to really hold the head cradled in the hands. We don't interlace the fingers because that gives us too much power to pull the head. And we rest the head heavily into the hands. So the neck gets a break in this exercise. But the abdominal core and the obliques are working hard. And we come back to center and we release the head and the feet to the floor. And we inhale. Bring your humerus bones alongside your body and lift into your bridge. And lift the right hip higher than the left. Sway across to the left. Come into your bridge somatic walking. Feel into your broad shoulder girdle. The humerus bones resting back. We continue to strengthen the back body. This is going to help us align posturally for any kind of weightlifting work we do. Come to center and pulse your pubic bone skyward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and hold. Tailbone reaches for the backs of the legs. Breathe into your heart. And exhale. Float the pelvis back to the floor and roll yourselves over onto hands and knees. On hands and knees, let's inhale our cow. Really stretch the neck out of the shoulder girdle. And exhale your cat. Really let the head and neck dangle. Pause here. Stretch your left shoulder away from your left hip, and then stretch your right shoulder away from your right hip. And we lengthen our side bodies, decompressing the spine. Come back to neutral and inhale your cow. Really find that long neck. Reach your pelvis back behind you. You may feel a stretch in your low abdomen, stretching your psoas. Breathe into lengthening the neck. Front neck flexors lift from below. And then come back to your neutral. Step 1 foot back and pressing down into hands. Float your other shin off the floor just an inch or so, leveling your pelvis. If you'd like to, step back into your full plank. Here, think of lengthening from crown chakra to tailbone. And then lower the other shin to float above the floor. And release and release. Inhale your lengthening cow. Breathe space between the vertebrae, all the way up through the neck. Really lengthen the neck. And exhale into your hissing cat. Press your hands away from your knees. Breathe into the back body. Release the head. Let it traction away from the shoulder girdle. Float back up to your neutral spine and float your right hand forward, left foot back. Exhale. Touch your fingers, touch your toes. Inhale to parallel. Exhale, touch, inhale to parallel. So I try to include multifidi strengtheners in every class because the more research I do, the more I think we need these turned on. So imagine little twinkly lights turning on all along your spine to help it stabilize. Float the arm and leg up. You can stay here or open into cactus arm and doggy at the fire hydrant and lower the shin and the forearm and lift and lower and lift and lower and lift. Now pause in the lift. The lifted arm, feel that shoulder blade strong on the back. This is more of your rhomboid work. Exhale, release. Take the other fingertips and toes forward and back and inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Remember, you're not lifting into a big back bend. You're keeping the legs straight behind you and you're just lifting it parallel to the floor. Beautiful. Keep your neck long. Gaze down like you're snorkeling. Feel into broadening across the shoulder girdle and lengthening the neck. Decompress the neck. Lift up and pause. You can go back to those or open into your cactus and doggy at the fire hydrant and lower forearm and shin and lift and lower and lift. We're strengthening our myofascial slings, but pay particular attention to the shoulder blade lifting onto the back and pause. Can you still lengthen the neck out of the shoulder girdle? And release. Inhale your cow and exhale your cat. Open your knees wide and roll back into child's pose. Root your fingers into the floor, the middle knuckles of the fingers lifting slightly to help you lift the center palm and lift the center wrist. Roll up, downward dog. And walk your dog. Now, as you press into the hands and lengthen back to the pelvis, we really want to decompress the spine. Imagine someone has a strap around your femur bones and they're pulling your legs back and up so that your spine has more space between the vertebrae. Meanwhile, we're strengthening the arms and inviting the building of bone density. Let's walk our feet towards our hands. Bend our knees quite a bit. Rest your belly on your femur bones. Pause here. Long spine. Now, some of you will be able to lift your sit bones and fold into a forward fold. Some of you, as you lift, you'll feel like, oh, I have to lift my spine off, and then you stop there. Okay, so we want our bellies on the femur bones. We only fold into the forward fold if we can lift the tailbone higher than the top of the sacrum. And then we bend the knees again, and we inhale, float up, stretch up. Reach, rooting the tailbone, lift the low back rib ring in the base of the skull, and exhale your hands to your heart, and release, pausing in your mountain pose. Palate over heart over pelvis. Draw a circle with your nose. Feel into any snap, crackle, and pop that's happening inside, connecting head to neck. Make the circles a little larger. And then take the circles the other way. Feel into releasing muscles that can be tight at the base of the skull. And then pause in your neutral mountain pose. Let your eyeballs rest back in their sockets. Feel for your center palate. Float it above the heart, above the pelvis, and root from the outer hips into the outer heels. Plant your big toe ball mounts. Plant your outer heel or your inner heel and your pinky toe ball mounts. Broad across your shoulder girdle. Fluid breath. Shoulder blades broad on the back body. Fluid breath. Take your right toes out. Inhale. Float your arms up in a snow angel. Float up, lift the leg. And exhale, come back down. Now, as your wrists lift, think of releasing the shoulder bone, the head of the arm bone down. Fluid breath. So you're not pinching in around the neck, you're releasing the shoulder down as the wrist rises. We inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Let's switch sides. Really concentrate on the upper body today. As the wrist rises, release the head of the arm bone down. Fluid breath. Still, we can be working on balance, the four corners of the standing foot and the outer hip. But we also feel into creating space around the neck. And one more. Inhale up and exhale, release. Palate over heart over pelvis. Now today, I'd like us to reach for a yoga strap. You can use a TheraBand if you don't have a yoga strap handy, but the yoga strap's a little firmer, so it's a little better for this. Bring the strap around your neck and bring it up under the base of your skull. Elbows somewhat forward. Lift the base of your skull. Release your shoulders down. Root from pelvis into feet. And lengthen the back of your neck. Keep your gaze on the horizon as you lift the back base of the skull. Now look down towards your feet. See if you can get any more stretch between the base of the skull and the neck. And lift your gaze back up. And lengthen your arms if that's possible for you. Lift and lengthen. Keep the strap lengthening the back of the neck so you're not rolling your head over the strap, but rooting the feet, hugging in the banks of your river. Begin to lift the heart. Open the thoracic spine of the rib cage. Don't throw the pelvis forward. Don't lock the knees. Lift the heart. Keep the back of the neck long. Support the head with the strap. Open the thoracic spine of the rib cage. And exhale. Release. Pause in your mountain pose. Let the strap just dangle around your neck. Shoulder blades on the back. Turn your palms gently forward. Close the eyes on the front of your head and open the eyes on the back of your head. And slowly turn to look out over one shoulder. Really visualize the room behind you. And then exhale, twist the other way. See what's behind you as you slowly turn the head from side to side. Really visualize what's behind you. And if you need to stop and look, do so. Really see what's behind you. This is a Rolfing strategy that reorients our posture, drawing our head back again over the spine. Come back to center. And gently take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Right palm lifts, right thumb moves slightly back, and our gaze lowers towards the floor. Breathe into the stretch of your neck. Let the gaze lift back up and look out the top corners of your eyes. Bring the gaze to neutral, head to neutral, and come back up. Bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, left palm up, left thumb back. Stretch across the neck and shoulder. Let your gaze fall towards the floor. Rest the head open away from the hand. Root into the four corners of the feet through strong legs. Let your gaze come back up and perhaps turn towards the top corners of the eyes. Keep breathing and releasing into the stretch. Bring the head to neutral and float back up. And let your head bobble on top of the spine. Let it just bobble, releasing shoulders, muscles of the neck. And one more time now. Bring the strap in under the base of your skull and lift. Rooting into the heels, lengthen the back of the neck and let your gaze look towards the floor. Stretch those muscles that connect your skull to your neck. And then bring your gaze to the horizon. Keep lifting the base of your skull. Find really great postural alignment, palate resting over heart, over pelvis. Lengthen the strap, lengthen the arms. Feel the banks of your river from the outer edges of the feet up to the outer hips, up the side waist, up the arms. And lengthening the banks of your river, rest the head back onto the strap. Keep tractioning the base of the skull away from the base of the neck. Keep releasing the shoulders away from the base of the skull. And exhale, release. Release the strap and pause in your mountain pose. Now let's come back to hand weights if you'd like them. Not necessary if you don't. And let your palate rest back over heart, over pelvis. And lift to one toe, lift your arms in a bicep curl and release. And inhale, other side. Now, really think of from the pelvis lengthening up like that hot air balloon is lifting the spine. So you are tractioning the spine skyward. Maybe you lift the knee. We inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, or you could exhale and inhale. You choose. But keep thinking of that hot air balloon lifting and lengthening the spine as you work. Let the neck be long out of the shoulder girdle today. And release. Now, lift your hand weight on the left, up, lifting the left knee, and lower, and lift and lower. Perhaps you lift the knee higher, and we lift and tap. 2, 3, 4, and lift and tap. 2, 3, 4. The spine's still decompressed. Lengthen up. Tap, 2, lift, tap, 2, and lift and release. And lift to the other toe. Lengthen the spine. Palate over heart, over pelvis. Hot air balloon decompressing the spine. We lift. Tap. 2, 3, 4, and lift. Tap. 2, 3, 4, and lift. Tap. 2, lift. Tap. 2, lift. Tap. 2, lift. Tap. 2, and step down. And inhale. Open your arms like wings. Keep your scapular plane in your mind. So the plane of your shoulder blade on your back ribs. And you can keep going with this. I'm going to let go of that right hand weight for me. Inhale and exhale. Now take your right toes out and we'll inhale and exhale. Keep long and strong in the spine. Wrists lift, shoulders release. Wrists lift, shoulders release. And one more time. And release. Take the other foot out and lift and lower. And inhale and exhale. And reach and release. And reach and release. Pause in your mountain pose. Palate over heart, over pelvis, and float one arm up and release it down. Float the next arm up, release it down. Can you stay aware of your back body? Even here now, can you close the eyes on the front of your head and open the eyes on the back of your head? Inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Fluid breath. Rest into your back body. The toes aren't gripping. And one more. And release down. And bring your hands in front of you and circle them. If I can do this. And circle them. Circle your hands forward and up. Stay in the back plane of your body, lifting the circles skyward. Feel into releasing the shoulders when you get to the top. And then shrug the shoulders towards the ears and release. And lift and let go. And lift and let go. So these could be things that you do in the midst of your workout if you're working with hand weights. We lift the shoulders and let go and circle the other way. Down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Bend your knees and hinge your body forward. Cat curl your spine and make bug's wings so they circle towards each other. And inhale, draw the shoulder blades on the back body and come together. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Feel your shoulder blades working on the back ribs. Strengthen the muscles of the back body. One more, open and hold. Feel those muscles work. Can you relax the head and neck? Bobble it a little bit. Let the back muscles work without the neck getting overly involved. And release. And release your hand weights to the floor. And pause in your mountain pose. Let the hot air balloon lift you from the palate. Breathe space between each vertebrae. And bring your hand to the wall. You can do either side. Bring the arm parallel to the floor or a little lower. And bring the other hand across your rib cage. And slowly Turn your hand so that the fingers are slightly back and your thumb is at 12 o'clock. And then slowly begin to turn away from the wall. Breathe into this pec minor, this front chest opening. Really let the breath expand in the tissue of the chest and stretch the muscle. Exhale, relax into the stretch, and inhale, fill the body, feel the stretch. And exhale, release, and inhale, fill. Maybe you lift the heart a little. Maybe you bend the knees a little. You play with, how can I stretch this front chest tissue open? Because I know when these muscles are too tight, they draw the head of the arm bone forward, which draws the head forward. And then exhale, release. And then take the other side. Thumb turns to 12 o'clock, fingers are evenly spread. Opposite hand comes across the ribs, and we turn ourselves away from the hand on the wall. And we breathe deep into that chest tissue, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. We may lift the heart slightly or bend the knees. We find ways to stretch the tissue subtly, continuing to breathe three-dimensionally into the torso. Fluid breath. And then we exhale back around and release. And float our arms up to the sides like wings. And bring the right arm over the left. You can come back of hand to back of hand or cross at the elbows. Back of hand to back of hand or palm to palm. Take the elbows away from your chest. Lift the fingers a little bit skyward. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, slowly twist towards the left. Breathe in behind the right shoulder blade. Fluid breath. Breathe into the right side ribs. Even the head can turn and look out the far corners of the eyes. Just don't crank the neck. Root into the four corners of each foot. Be aware of the three arches. Make sure your knee isn't hinging. Your right knee. Exhale. Release back around. Inhale. Lift your fingers. Lift your gaze. Lift your elbows. Exhale. Release to neutral and release the arms and roll your shoulders. Float your arms up. Right arm over left. Either back of hand to back of hand or do the Garudasana wrap. Reach your elbows away from your chest, your fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, settle into the pose. Inhale, length up the spine, hot air balloon lifting you. Exhale, twist to the right. Keep the knees forward. Keep the pelvis pretty forward. It can twist a little bit. Check in that you don't misalign the knees and let the twist rise up the torso. Feel it behind the left shoulder blade. Let the head turn and look out the far corners of the eyes. Breathe space into the upper rib cage, shoulders, and neck. Exhale, unwind. Lift your fingers towards the sky, your gaze towards the sky. And exhale, release. Float the arms open and roll the shoulders. And lift into your goalposts. And exhale. Bring the pinkies towards each other. Pause in your cat and breathe into the back body. And exhale. Open the arms and lift the heart. Root the tail. Hug in the banks of your river. Press the palms out into the banks. Root from your outer hip to your outer heel. Breathe length up the spine, up the back of the spine, up the sides of the spine. And exhale. Fold forward and release. Mountain pose. Palate over heart over pelvis. Relax your hands in your forearms. in your shoulders. Gently hug the shoulder blades onto your back ribs and let them broaden away from each other. Let your palms turn forward. Root from outer hip to outer heel and feel how that can create a strength that comes right up into your armpits. This can help you lift the heart. Invite in three-dimensional breath. And right here, bend the knees and lift the heels and straighten up and lower the heels. Can you keep the upper body awareness as you bend the knees? Lift, straighten, and lower. One more time. Bend, lift, straighten, and lower. Palate resting back over heart, over pelvis. Relax into your mountain pose. Let go around the base of the neck. Imagine that strap's tractioning the base of your skull away from the base of the neck. Breathe sky between your vertebrae. And let's inhale. And reach skyward and draw good energy right down the spine. And as we open our arms, feel the wings of your arms move from the center stability of your spinal channel. And let's inhale. Draw healthy pranic energy in, down deep into the heart and the center channel of our bodies. Thank you. Okay. Hopefully you're a little more conscious of neck and shoulders, length and spine.
That was wonderful.
Good.